Hello, so this is just a quick video on how to add some of the annotations to our drawing in AutoCAD. So we'll be looking at adding text. I will do a different one for dimensions. We will be adding these leader bubbles, and we will also be doing some hatching, like in here, along with center lines and center marks and the break lines as well. So let's go ahead and go over to our AutoCAD and let's zoom right in. So the first thing we will look at is leaders. So most of the time we will be up here on Annotate. We're on the Annotate tab. So we have text, we'll have our dimensions, our center marks, our center lines, and our leaders here. So a standard leader is just an arrow with text. So what we are trying to accomplish is, if we look at our abutment section here, all of these are bubble leaders. So they're referencing these numbers on our actual drawing. So on our Annotate tab, we're going to go into the multi-leader. And what we actually have to do is we actually have to create a new one through our multi-leader style manager. So that style manager, again, right here, this little arrow will get us into that manager. So we want to first, we want to create a new one because this old one doesn't have the circles, but we will start with the standard one. So we'll call this one circle and continue. So our actual leader itself and our font, we will not change. We will go over to content. So we don't want M-text, we actually want a block, and then we want to choose a circle from that block. So we get a nice circle here, and along with our leader. So if we go to leader structure and change our scale to 10, it will be then nicely sized for this view of the abutment section. Go ahead and click OK, and then we click close. So now you can see we have both the circle and the standard. So if I choose the circle and I choose my multi-leader, so I want to choose anywhere on this line, and I just place it there. Then it's asking me my tag number. So I'm just going to put in 1 for now. And there you go. We have a nice leader with a bubble circle. So if I want to add more, again, if I'm on circle and then I choose that multi-leader, I can come in here. So if I hover over that center point, then I can drag anywhere on that line to start my leader. I don't know what number this says, but we'll just make it 2. So you can do that for all of your different abutment callouts. All right, so now let's look at one of these other views. So there's a lot going on. We have some center lines here. We have some center marks in our circles, and we have a break line over here. So let's look at how to do all of those. So the first thing we'll do is we'll do a center line. So again, let's go over, we don't want to be on text anymore, we want to be on our center line. And then let's come over to annotate. Move this into the middle. So our center mark for our circles, you click on your center mark, and then basically you click on the circle. So it'll put the nice center mark, goes just outside the circle, gives you that cross right in the middle. So any circle you now choose will have that center mark. Center line is the same kind of thing. And basically what you're doing, you want to select two lines that you're going to make your center line to. So you want a center line between those two and escape. So you'll notice, so for any center lines, you want to actually create them a little bit farther than the actual part. So you can just grab onto those ends of the center line and actually extend it a bit farther than your actual drawing. So the break line's easiest to get to is if you type in break line, and then you'll get that. So you can click that. So now it's basically, you have 2 points to define your line and then another point to determine where you want that break symbol to be. So we'll start one down, the line down below. We'll bring it up high, and now it's asking for the location. So we'll put our center mark or our break line location symbol right in the middle. So there's your center line nicely, your center marks nice and clean, and then your break right in there. So now what we want to do is we want to add some text. So we add text on our text notes layer and back to the Annotate tab. So text is this first area here. So there is both single line and multi-line text. Typically you'll want to choose multi-line. So basically you select multi-line, you click, drag out your window, and then you can type whatever you want. Okay, so there are lots of symbols on the drawing that you'll need. So right up here in the top in our text editor, so we are now currently in our text editor, which opens up when we are in text. So if we go to our text editor, we can add a degree symbol, a diameter symbol, an angle symbol, or the center line symbol, which you will see frequently labeling those some center lines and some dimensions to those center lines. So all of that information is up here in that symbol category. If we look here, this will be the size of your text that you're doing as well. So if you want it a bit smaller, you can just change that size right there. So you'll need to fit the size of your text to your page correctly. So when you are looking on your sheet, your drawing sheet, that it looks correct. So that's how to add some text into our space with multi-line text. The last thing we'll do is the hatch. So to get to our hatch, again, we're in our home under our draw, but first we need to change our layer. So you'll notice that there are two hatching layers. So we are going to hatch the steel right now, so we'll select that one. Once that's selected, you go over to the hatch and we'll select the hatch. So I'm guessing you will see this at the very beginning. So you'll want to come down and we're just going to choose steel and select that. So you can see in here there's quite a few different standard hatchings that you can use quite frequently. Bricks, concrete, all of that. But for this one, we will use steel. So for hatching basically any closed section will hatch by clicking on it. So you click on those two parts and that will become hatched. So it's just a bit more information about the actual part you're dealing with. So what you might need to do too is you might need to change your scale here. So at 1, it's very, very fine and very kind of hard to see, especially when you zoom out. So you want to be able to see when you're scaled at the sheet scale. You want to be able to see what is in there and see what that actual hatch looks like. So that looks like a pretty good scale, because when I zoom out a little bit, I can still see that it's in there and functional. So we have added leaders, we've added text and symbols, center marks, center lines, our hatching, and our break line. So that's a lot of the annotations that you'll need to put on top of your drawing to get it looking professional and able to communicate what you want to who's ever fabricating this. If you have any questions, please drop me an email. Thank you and have a good day.